Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another FAI Cup show. Myself, Keith, and JP is here for this one. JP, first before we start, a very interesting round to be fair, and a couple of shocks that probably we weren't really expecting for a start.
Yeah, and almost a third one this afternoon. Um, yeah, thought there was some good ties in there. There was ones that we thought could potentially be an upset. One we didn't think would be an upset
Hmm,
ended up turning out to be an upset. Um, yeah, it's just the two upsets were one you probably one you probably could have said, yeah, there's a chance there. The other one, it just came totally out of the blue, and then obviously Bows were will realize they've got their played their get out of jail card in the cup this year and today.
Absolutely. And we're going to start off with that one actually. Kerry FC 2, Bohemians 2 at Mount Hawk Park today. James Clark gave Bowes the lead after 20 minutes. Ryan Keller equalised after 42. Grieve right in half time. 44 minutes to give Bowes a 2-1 lead. Kelleher with his 14th goal of the season and 50 to make it 2-2. It eventually went to extra time, and Bowes, as you said, got out of jail really, winning on penalties. And first of all, I have to say, fair play to Kerry. Brilliant performance. They came from behind twice in the game as well. Each time Bowles got in front, I thought that was probably it, that kind of way that they'd kick on. They never did. Kerry stuck with them, stayed in the game and got two equalisers. In extra time, then, particularly in the second half, Kerry were, you could see they were visibly out on their feet. Guys were going down with legitimate cramp. They were really struggling. They were forced to get everyone behind the ball. They weren't pressing. They stopped pressing. They couldn't do it anymore. And Bowles did have chances in extra time, particularly in the second half, to nick it, including the chance at the end. But Kerry did brilliantly to hang on in extra time. And throughout the 90 minutes, they were certainly as good as Bowles in different ways. I thought for the first half in particular, they stopped Bowles from getting the ball into midfield and forced them long. Because as we know, Bowles with the likes of Devoy and Tierney in the middle, who if they get a stranglehold of the game, they potentially kill you. So Kerry certainly done their homework there, and they played really well in the game. They'd be disappointed with the first goal they gave away. I think Bowles will be disappointed with the second equaliser, actually, where Turetska comes out with the ball and gets caught, and Kelleher does well to challenge and put it into the net. But you have to give him credit for doing that as well. Um, Kerry very, very unlucky. When it went to penalties, I think the pressure got to them a little bit, JP, whereas the experience of Bowles came to the fore. And as you said, they can. It's a huge sigh of relief for Bowles. I know their fans. Look, they got through. Their fans won't be happy. And funnily enough, Kerry didn't get through, but their fans will be delighted.
Yeah, um, yeah, we did sort of think this would be Kerry would have a go at Bowes, but ultimately we thought Bowes would have enough over the course of a game of football rather than a penalty shootout. They see them off, but for Kerry, it was their biggest day in their history. And what they would have wanted to do was they would have wanted to send their fans home happy. And um, regardless, this was they had everything to gain from this. They'd nothing to lose and everything to gain. And Bows coming to Mouth Hawk Park, as we spoke in the build up. There's probably only they probably only gets bigger than that is probably Shamrock Rovers. And they give Bohemians a good game, a right scare. I was just looking at the Kerry goal scorer. Is it Ryan Kelly, or you call him?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's 15 goals for him this year. Um, and it's like he's crucial to them. We see throughout the league from the bottom of first division to the top of the Premier Division is you have players in your team that are crucial. Majority of them are attacking players and goal scorers, and he's definitely the key reason why uh Kerry managed to take Bows all the way because they got. I'm not sure if they had many chances in the game, but they definitely had two, and he put both of them away. And it was I seen the first goal that they scored. It was a really good move from them, and like a proper striker. He's in the 6 yard box waiting on the ball coming across, and he taps it home. And look, Bows fans. won't be happy because in the manner they went through, but they will be happy that that they've got through, that they've sort of survived the embarrassment of, and there's no disrespect to Kerry, there's the embarrassment of going out of the FAI Cup at this stage. They're a team that's not even 2 year old yet. And was a good was a good performance, a good battle for Kerry, as you said. The extra time took it completely out of them. But the experience of both got them over the line, and I think in the shootout, Kerry could possibly have been mentally and physically tired as well, and you need one or the other. They get you through a penalty shootout, and I think I seen the second penalty miss. I've seen that one where he skied it over the bar.
Mm.
I'm not sure what the first one was like, but Bowes looked
First one wasn't great, JP. I'll be honest. You'll probably see it later or whatever. But he he walks up and he kind of it's a walking penalty, if that makes sense. You know, one of them ones where he literally walks and stands and hits the penalty, and you felt that. Yeah, I genuinely felt he was going to miss the
Mm.
whole setup. You have to see it really yourself,
I
but you'll know
didn't
what I mean when you see it.
I didn't get any confidence from the other one either because I thought he took too long
Mm. That
after
was
the one.
nerves, wasn't it? That was big
I
time
think it was
nerves.
wrong. I
Yeah.
think that was nerves. Young kid, he's on loan from Shamrock Rovers as well, I think.
Mm.
So look, Kerry will be. They would have, as I said earlier, they saw this as a free hit for them. They put it up a Premier Division team, and they'll build confidence from this going into their league campaign. Like we know they're not going to get the playoffs, but they'll want to finish as high as they possibly can, and they'll take confidence from that, no doubt.
They'll do well to keep on to Ryan Kelleher, especially now scoring 2 goals against a Premier Division club is really going
Yeah,
to, like,
yeah.
whether he goes to a Premier Division team or not, there's going to be clubs with a bit more money, etc., in the first division at the very least looking at
Got,
him.
he's got 12 in the first division and 10
Mm,
last year, so there's definitely clubs are going to be looking at him, but early maybe for um.
yeah, I think so.
Bit early maybe for Premier Division teams to be looking at him, but certainly I can see First Division clubs looking at him.
100%. Ball's just about getting through. A Turner's Cross finished Cork City nil. Derry City 1, Sam Todd's goal and 72 minutes from a corner kick was a header. And I think with the other results, JP, after this, with the likes of Sligo losing, Waterford losing, and even Kerry bringing balls to penalties, this, I think, is an even better result for Derry City because this was the banana skin I saw being the banana skin. And to be fair, they went down there and done a professional job, seemingly. Cork did have opportunities in the first half. I think Keishin in particular, the first opportunity he had was a decent chance. And, there was obviously going to be a bit of pressure going down to Turner's Cross. But it seemed like a professional enough job from Derry City. And, I'd say you're even happier with the result now, having seen the other results since, if that makes sense.
Well, I was confident that Derry were going to win the game. You were the one that said it was a banana skin, and I think your love for Tom Clancy clouded your judgment in that one. You said, yeah, so I think that's where I think if Tim Clancy was managing Cork, he'd have backed Derry to win this game.
Uh,
So, but anyway, no, seriously, I think Derry were professional. They approached it professionally. They knew that they weren't going to probably they knew they were going to be in a game basically.
mm.
The crowd was going to be up for it. It was the first home game I think since the return of Sean Maguire and Rory Keaton, so they were definitely going to be up for
How
it.
did they look as a partnership? I know it's early days, but
They look good. They look good. I think a lot of what Cork created came through Sean Maguire, Keith. Um, he seemed to be doing all the running while Rory Keaton was doing the sort of hanging around the penalty box. There was one incident down first half down the corner flag. Maguire battled for it, and Cork created a chance out of it. And then another one where he found Derry gave the ball away. I think Cork's biggest chances came from Derry giving the ball away. Um, and Cork breaking on them. I think there was one right at the end of the first half where uh was it Paul McMullen tried to play a ball through three Cork players and was intercepted, and it turned out then that think that was the one then Kieran Cole cleared off the line. And there was another one then that Sean Maguire found himself in space, and he was found on the
Mm.
right hand side of the box, and he dragged it wide.
Mm.
But I think, and I've seen comments from Sean Maguire saying the way he worded it was, if that's the standard in the Premier Division, um, basically Cork have nothing to worry about. Was the thing was I'm not sure if that was the way he finished it, but he definitely started with, if that's a standard in the Premier Division, like, and I think they've got Maguire and Keaton,
Mm.
Greg Bolger's there, but Keith, if and I know Cork fans seeing comments online saying that they look to be the Premier Division team, which was fair enough going off what they produced, but at the end of the day, they were a wee bit powder puff up front. They got chances and didn't take them. Um, Derry were professional about it, and they rode the storm. Second half, they O'Reilly picks up a yellow card, and immediately Higgins takes him off, puts the Sam Todd on, and when Cameron Dummigan goes into midfield, that totally changes the whole game. Derry boss it from that point forward. Yes, Cork do have chances in the game. Did have a shout for penalty, but in my opinion, it was not a penalty, and that's
Oh, I've
not
seen that
me.
myself. I didn't think so either, if I'm honest. I
That's
don't
not
think there's
me with
much in that at
that's
all.
not me, that's not me with my Derry head on. I think he
Mm. Well,
uh
I'll say it then. I don't think it was a penalty.
the whole and even the commentators on who I thought at least one of them was very poor in terms of how he was seeing the game, but in that particular incident, um, he did say that there was very little in it. There was a touch, but if you watch it, the Derry player runs back with his hands out like that there, so he's there's no intention of pushing him, and that was noted in the commentary.
Would have been very soft in my opinion.
I
So
think Dijksteel doesn't have it under control, and he just sees an opportunity. I think they try him on a penalty, and but look, Cork can take like Kerry, they can take heart out of their performance. We do know they're going to be we do know they're going to be promoted. That's one thing's for sure. But I think another thing is for sure is if they get promoted, they're going to have to add to their squad. I don't th I think if they went up now and competed with this team, they would be very lucky to finish in ninth. So I
mm.
think they've got Bulger, they've got Maguire, they've got Keaton there, which is a good sort of nucleus to have. They need to add others around them. Evan McLaughlin's there too, who's a fairly decent player, and I thought he was quite lucky, Keith. You never seen it in the highlights, but he was quite lucky to stay on the pitch. He went in with it was a loose ball, and he went in with a 2-footed tackle on Dummigan got there before him, so I think on a different referee who I thought Mark Lynch was very good. Different referee could have definitely sent him off. But I think Derry scored from a set piece, a corner, and Cork didn't heed the warning, Keith.
There was a
Um,
few, and even in the highlights, there was a few warnings I could see. Yeah.
there was one in particular, Sam Todd was only on, and if he gets a better contact, it's in the net. And then another one, I think it was Pat Hoban, similar situation. There was maybe one more before the goal, and then Todd just rises like a salmon, 6 yards out, ball header past the keeper. And after that, they didn't heed the warning, Keith, because there was another corner there, and Derry seemed to, with their corners, seemed to target the 6 yard box.
Mm.
Whether that was a case of maybe watching, seeing how
Yeah.
maybe I don't see Cork that often, so maybe do as Brad Wade, is it Brad Wade you call him? Is he not the confident keeper of coming and collecting balls? I don't know. But
Mm.
they certainly seem to target it and certainly seem to target the 6 yard box with the corners. Um, and eventually paid off. And Shane McElhinney had another one just after that, Keith. It was again, I think it was Todd got the head in the first one, but it was bobbling around. It came to McElhinney and he tries to head it goalwards. And he's very close. But they did have a goal disallowed for offside, Cork, but I think it was offside. Then it said the save from or the block from Kieran Cole on the line, and Brian Maher has to tip one over the bar at 1-0. But Derry did have chances themselves as well. Like they created a good free kick in the early minutes that Wade made a good save. But that came from Derry starting brightly. They won the ball back high and McMullen was going through and I think it was Chris Lyons or is it Charlie
Charlie
Lyons?
Lines, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Um he just put his foot on the back of his heel to make sure he didn't get any further, and he took one for the team, and if he hadn't, then Derry go on and scored, and it could be a different night. But I think all in all, Cork, you could say, um, probably a wee bit disappointed that they didn't go through. But I think Derry were professional about it. They didn't panic. They stuck to their guns, and they knew that they had the best. You always got the I always got the feeling watching the Keith that if Derry needed to take it up a gear, they could, and that's eventually what they did in the second half, and got the winner. And I think once they got the opening goal, I think there was only one winner from that point forward.
Yeah, Derry City through to the quarter-finals. At Talca Park finished Shelbourne 1, Galway United 1. 0-0 after 90 minutes, which was no surprise if anyone watched the show previously. O'Brien scored in his debut, to be fair, in 94 minutes for Shelbourne, came on as a sub. Jimmy Keohane scored a fantastic volleyed equaliser with 4 minutes to go in extra time. And Shelbourne, in the end, went through in penalties 5-3. Gary Buckley, I should say, was the player that missed the penalty. First half was tough enough, JP, I'm not going to lie. I think Galway had probably the best chance for Barrett. Clears it half a yard off the line. Maybe if he doesn't, Kearns gets there. It's hard to tell, to be
I
honest with
think
you.
I thought Cairns was getting there as well, so it
Might
is.
do. Yeah. Apart from that, whatever, nothing happened. Second half, I think Shells were the better side, to be fair. Harry Wood forces a very good save actually from Brendan Clark. There's another chance for Sean Gannon where he kind of lets the ball hit him as opposed to strike the ball and it goes over the top. Then an extra time, obviously Shells go in front. Liam Burt has a great chance to put them two up and he takes
Uh,
far too
I
much out of it.
I didn't understand that. He's round the keeper, had it.
I know everyone was saying it. Like not only that, but even when he comes chops back again, there's actually a chance to hit it to score as well. And then he chops back again, he just loses it. Like he was never going to shoot at that point. You're kind of it was frustrating to be honest. And never in fairness to him, to be fair to him, he scores the winning penalty, so at least I was forgiven there. But you're right. I think even before I think there's a chance he can slot it past Clark. And then when he does chop in, he can actually play it into the net, roll it into the net with his left foot, and he doesn't. And then by that point, there's two Galway players in the line, and Clark just gobbles it up basically. But lack of confidence, maybe it's hard to know. But yeah, that could have been costly because Keohane scores an equaliser. You know what I mean? 4 minutes to go, but in the end, Shells go through in penalties, and they'd be delighted to get through. I think Galway. I don't know. Galway. There's an awful lot of long balls from Galway in this game, JP, up to Patrick Hickey, hoping for the best. And, he was flicking it on. And, I don't know. I just thought Shells dealt with that very well. You know what I mean? They really were relying on set pieces, to be honest, Galway. I know ironically they didn't score from a set piece, but overall they were, corner kicks, free kicks, long balls to Hickey, hoping to flick it on to Walsh or the likes of Ed McCarthy or whatever. And it was a tough watch, particularly that first half, because Shells were a bit flat themselves. But look, as I said, they got through in penalties. They're through to the next round, and that's the main thing. It could have went either way in penalties, but Duff will be delighted, and Caulfield, I suppose, won't be too pleased. But yeah, not much else I can say about this one, JP.
No, but just going on there, Galway's directness. That was pretty much what Cork did as well. That's where
Mm.
they caused Derry the most problems, and meant to say that in the previous game. Derry were missing Conley, so Cork obviously targeted that. But on to this game, Galway, that's what you're going to get with them anyway, Keith.
I just thought JP was a bit too obvious from them, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean. I've seen them
it's
play like that, and we do see them play like that. But I have seen them play decent counter-attacking football and bits and pieces like that before as well. But in this game, I thought they were too easily read. I know there were one or two opportunities there in the first half, but I just wonder as well. Like they're doing very well this season, brilliant this season. But I just wonder, I know it's gone too far into next season or whatever, but will that get found out a little bit? You know what I mean? Next season, will they need a bit more, show a bit more to do well next season? Do you know what I mean? I just have this feeling. I don't know.
possibly, yeah. You always find it with a newly promoted team. They come up and they have a style of play, and
Mm.
teams take a while to work it out, and then eventually it is worked out, and it becomes too late. I think just you see it in leagues all around the world. Like you see where a team comes up with a certain style, and it's hard to deal with, and then the second year they try and replicate it, and teams have clicked on it, and they know how to play against it, and um. I think from memory, the one of the obvious ones was Blackpool when they were in the Premier League. Was first first 19 games they had this style of play that nobody could get the grips with, and then the next 19 games it was gotten the grips with, and eventually Blackpool had gone down. And I don't think that's going to happen to Galway, but they, they they would have hoped that teams would have clicked on it a wee bit later in the season, rather than this season. Um, but when you're playing teams 3 and 4 times a season, five if you play them in the cup, um, eventually you do get the grips with it, and you know how to play it. And um,
And they're
Shelbourne
still
is on.
difficult to play against, and they prove to be difficult to play against
Yeah,
without the ball. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Shell's found it very difficult. Teams find it very difficult in that manner. I'm just talking about their attacking plays specifically.
yeah,
So they're still going to be very hard to beat and break down, and they
yeah.
work their socks off, and they're a real unit. And I'm not being, this isn't putting them down or anything like that. But if I was looking at them player for player, they're 100% in the bottom three in the league in terms of player for player talent
Oh,
wise.
they are.
Do
They
you know what I
are.
mean? But that's like actually a credit to them more than anything
It is.
because
It's what
that's getting the best out of what you have.
Caulfield and Horgan have up to this point have got the best out of the resources that they have. We always found that Horgan done that repeatedly at Finn Harps, and then eventually he couldn't. Where Caulfield was when he managed Cork, he had this he was in the top two, three for budget, like. So I think this is kind of like seeing a different side of him of when he's not in that sort of position. They have the best budget or the second best budget in the league, and he's having to use his resources um wisely. And up to this point he has done. He's brought in Junior and Jimmy Keohan, and he's uh
Cunningham.
Burn, brought in Burns from Glentoran as well. So um it's it's I think it's going to be difficult for Galway in the second part or the last part of the
Mm.
season, but I think they will have enough they to get them over the line. But Shells, I think, will be delighted. Just they again we talked about Bowes using a get out of jail card. I think Shelbourne will be delighted that having had the chances they had in extra time to get through and on penalties. Because you're looking at it now and you're seeing the draw, and everybody obviously is going to be pointing towards Derry as maybe being the favourites for it. And below after that, then it's Shelbourne. So if Shelbourne had went out there, would have been over Derry would have been overwhelmingly everybody's
Confidence. Yeah.
favourites. So Shelbourne still there is keeping the cup alive basically in terms of a few teams that it could win it. Like anybody could win it from here on in. But I think it would have been a with Shelbourne stuttering in the league, it's nice for them to have a distract. It's just a nice for them to have something to distract them from the league as well. They sort of get back. They get themselves back on the horse, basically, as they say, in terms of the league campaign, because they've come this far now. They'll not want they throw it away. They'll want if say Derry or Shamrock Rovers was going to come behind them and win it, they'll want to make them win it rather than hand it to them. So it was a really good win for them in the end. They'll be delighted that Aidan O'Brien has got off the mark first game. Really good finish, striker's finish. Talked about Kelly in the Kerry game inside the between the penalty spot and the net, and he's there to finish it. It was a really good touch and ball back. It was really good touch to kill the ball and then put it back as well. Can't mind who it was. Was it Burns or it played the pass? But it was a
It was either Burt or Coote. I can't
Burt,
remember
sorry,
which
Burt,
one.
not Burns. But it was a good goal from Shelbourne's point of view. But I look, they be looking forward to the draw on Tuesday now, and it's it's funny like it's four and four, so it's four first division and four Premier Division. So be interesting to see what way it comes out, and everybody will be probably looking at wanting Derry and Shells and Bows to be kept apart, won't they? Like really, I think that's better be the FAI's wishes. I think because they'll be looking for the Aviva Fold in November.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect for getting on to them now, but the FAI won't want an Athlone Town in the final. But Waterford FC 2, Athlone Town 3, and this was a surprise to be fair. And there's a lot in this, so I'll start off with normal times. 1-1 after normal time, Amont penalty on 41 minutes, and Dean Ebbe on 79. So 1-1 after normal time. Before the Amont penalty, we had a red card of Dara Leahy. JP, why was this a red card?
I don't know. You have to ask referee done that. You have to ask that question the referee done. Um, I've looked at it. I've seen the clip. Um, I've seen somebody zoomed in the clip at a point where it appears that he's put his hand on the Athlone player's face, but the laws of the game do state that if you raise your hand to face that it is a red card, but it also states underneath it saying that unless the force is negligible, I don't think he struck him. If he has raised his hand, I don't think he struck him.
I think the
Um,
big thing, JP, as well, when you look at it, you've probably looked at it like me a good few times, and we get a clear view of it. So we definitely get a clear view of it. You know what I mean? And you see the image from where the referee has. It's not like, oh, this happened before, and you know that kind of way. Something like that. But look at the reaction of the Athlone players. Some of them are actually bemused. Like, does no one call him for anything? The
I
player
think
he's involved with doesn't look for anything remotely.
I think if your player has been struck, whether by a hand or an elbow, there's a couple of things you're going to do. You're either going to throw yourself down, or you're going to look at the referee and put your arms out and say, "What's happening here?"
Or have a reaction towards the player.
Neither of that, none of them happen. None of them happen. Um, I just don't get. I just don't get why it was a red card. And look, we talk every week about the standard of refereeing, and we seen a couple of weeks ago the incident in the St. Pat's and Sligo game
This was
where
worse, I would suggest, in
where,
all honesty. Would you?
where our supposed top referee gives a penalty for contact that didn't happen, and then now you have a referee who's further down the pecking order giving a red card for something that he has seen. And unfortunately, we don't unfortunately we don't have VAR. Nobody wants VAR, but
Mm.
without the video replays or whatever, the only opinion that matters is the one of the referee. And if he says that he's seen a strike, then you're not going to change his mind. The only people who can change his mind is the two guys on the whistle. And I just don't get why he's done that. Um, maybe his line like they are mic'd up, so the linesman could have been asking the referee why is he giving it. Then the referee has said to him, it probably hasn't happened, but I can only think
Mm.
that the referee, if the linesman has seen that nothing's happened, then why isn't he telling him that? That's you know, it's really disappointing when you see decisions like that there given because it was certainly not a red card.
No, definitely not. Ammon scores a penalty after 41 minutes, 2 minutes later to actually put them ahead, where Parsons runs through and is fouled. I don't think there's a debate for that penalty. Then Dean Ebby's equaliser, his 12th goal of the season. Good play by Robinson, the left, good ball in. Ebby finishes it to make it 1-1. And we have a chance then, a situation at the end whereby, now I think this one's more difficult. I know some Water fans are up in arms about this, but about a parent ball that goes over the line in the 90th minute, literally last kick of the game. Now, I've watched this a good few times from a number of standpoints, if you like. First of all, I'll say I can't see the ball going over or not going over the line. There's too many players there. There's about 100 players. It's like a rugby
Hmm.
mall, basically, JP, isn't it? So that's number
Yeah,
one. Number two, it happens quickly. Number three, there were a few rumours going around that the linesman gave the goal. I don't see where the linesman's given the goal there because there's Waterford players running, asking the question to the linesman. The linesman, as far as I can see, doesn't have his flag up at any point.
yeah,
Not only
yeah.
that, but if that was the case, the referee isn't going over having that discussion. I don't think he is with the linesman either. So
He
I don't
didn't.
think that happens. I don't think he can give that personally.
He didn't go over to discuss with the linesman. He went over to get the three Waterford players away,
Oh,
which
fair
is
enough. Yeah.
which is what he's there for because he'd seen the three Waterford players running towards him, so he's running over there to get in front of him because that's why he's there. He's there to protect his team as well. So, there was no the linesman didn't give this. For anybody that's claiming that the linesman gave this and the referee overruled them, wherever you've heard that, it's absolute nonsense. Because I know from being an official, even in intermediate football, the instruction you're given by the referee is the instruction you're given by the referee is to get the flag up and run towards the halfway line. The linesman doesn't do that.
Doesn't do either.
Um, he doesn't do either. I've seen a still image. I'm not buying that because the still image is taken from behind the net. It has to be taken from straight on. They actually get a true representation of it. And also, how's the linesman meant to see it when there's three or four players crowded around the ball? Where's he meant to see where the ball is?
In
Who's
white shirts, by the way.
in white shirts with a white ball? How's he meant to see which player kicks the ball? Is a player behind the line kicking it out, whatever? Um, Look, we can hammer referees for all we want for that. We can hammer the referee for that red card. Fair enough. He hasn't got the decision right. Let's not hammer the linesman for this because it's a really difficult one to call. And yeah, I just look, it may well have been over, but we don't have goal line
I don't know if
technology.
it's over the line or not. That's the point. I have no idea.
We don't have goal line
Mm,
technology either in the League of Ireland. Um, and I don't think we ever will have it. So we just
mm.
have to go on the linesman's call or the referee's call. But for anybody, as I said, for anybody that's saying the linesman gave this, whoever your sources are, change them.
Basically, yeah. No, I agree with that, JP. No way did he give it, or not give it, I should say, really, in this point. On to extra time then, and Waterford and Verdes do battle on and go 2-1 up. Ammon's goal in 105 minutes, which is a typical Ammon goal. It's a shot by Ryan Burke, and Ammon smells it basically and diverts it
Mm.
into the net. But he had a chance to make it. Hmm?
Poacher's goal.
Oh, big time. He had a chance to make it 3-1, though, right before the end, where I think it was
Oh, yeah,
Oakley who gets
yeah.
across. That's a brilliant clearance off the line, by the
Great
way.
clearance. Talked
Unbelievable.
about the talked about the clearance from Kieran Call, which was actually
Yeah,
left out of the highlights.
yeah.
This is probably even better because he's running back towards his own goal and has to hook it away. Where Kieran's one is he's running towards goal and all he has to do is get something on it. Where the Athlone player has to actually hook the ball away. So it was a really good, brilliant clearance.
And not only
Um,
that, a minute later, Connolly makes it 2-2.
yeah. And I thought it was per. No, am I on about the third one? The per defending one where it squeezed underneath the goalkeeper.
That's
Um,
Connolly, yeah.
yeah. Oh, was that Conley's one? Yeah. So
Connolly's.
Waterford were really disappointed about that one. But
Mm.
when that happens and you're down to 10 men, one thing you do is you make sure you get the penalties at least. And they didn't do that. They've coughed up another chance. Oh no, this Conley one was really good finish from inside the 6 yard box. The winning goal was the one where he sneaks in round the back and puts it
Oh,
into
yeah.
the
Yeah, that's McGregor scoring his debut, by
yeah.
the way, for Athlone as
But
well.
so
Mm.
yeah, that's that one thing you do when that happens. Get yourself the penalties. They don't do that. They switch off and Athlone get the winning goal. And, hey,
Mm.
they're delighted. They're in the quarter final of the FAI Cup.
Yeah, and you have to give Athlone an awful lot of credit here because all talks about the decisions of Waterford. But to be fair, Waterford, despite the red for a second, Waterford led in the game 1-0. They also led 2-1. There was a goal line clearance at 2-1, and they
Yeah,
get a winner in the very last second of the game, basically. Like, as you say, Waterford could easily have brought that to penalties at least. So, Athlone, like, they're not responsible for any decisions or not in the game. They had to do their job still, and they still came from behind twice in that match to win.
yeah. And even when the referee gives a decision against you, you can't change it. You have to get on with it. Look like Waterford did do that. As I
Mm.
say, 2 minutes after the red card, they went in front from a penalty. They got back in front again. They had a chance. They won it, and Armand, instead of just putting his foot through it, he chips it over the keeper and gives the defender a chance to clear it. And on another night, that ball goes in, and Waterford are in the quarter final of the FA Cup. I did say in the build up the FA Cup a few weeks ago that Waterford were potentially an outside bet for the cup, and they got Cockhill in the last round. They've got Athlone in this round. Now they're out. So they are still in the hunt for Europe via the league. So Shamrock Rovers coming on strong now, and it's going to be really difficult for the likes of Waterford and Galway and Sligo. They claim that, like, let's not forget Sligo are in the hunt for it now as well. for third place. So it's become that they're fighting Shamrock Rovers. They're fighting Galway and Sligo as well. So this was a huge opportunity for the likes of Waterford to get in the Europe, because with only Derry and Shelbourne in the top four left in the cup, and if they draw one another on Tuesday, that's leaving one in the top four. So it's likely that fourth place isn't going to be enough this year, and it has been enough every year since 2012, I think. So, eventually that could end up not being the case. But I think the likes of Waterford and Galway and Sligo will be hoping that Derry and Shell stay in the cup for as long as they can.
Now, the other results: Ballyfermot United 0, Wexford FC 3, King Curtis with 2 goals, Thomas Alua with 1. King Curtis scored a class goal in this game. Two mad results, really. Drogheda United 9, Wilton United 0. James Taylor with a hat trick, Brennan, Pirot, Quinn, and Bozza Canny came on, the youngster, and scored a hat trick as well for Drogheda. James Taylor is actually their top scorer with 7 goals, despite only coming in the recent window, which is mad. You
He
wonder if
could
they
be
had him at the start of the season, by the way.
he, he could be key for Drogheda, especially in the league, because they've
Mm,
got some of the scoring goals where Dundalk and Bows don't. So he could be key in the final part of the season.
absolutely. I think he is being key at the moment, but if they had him at the start of the season, but it's all ifs and buts. Treaty United 7, Pike Rovers 0. Malloy with a hat trick. I think that's wrong, even though it says Malloy. I think it's wrong. Curran got 1, Virchek got 2, Lynch got
Devitt
1. I'm
with the
pretty sure
hat-trick.
Devitt got a hat trick, actually. It was Devitt. So, foot mob, do your job properly. Um, so yeah, that put me off a bit there. And finally, obviously, Sligo Rovers 0, UCD 2, which was, you know, their nemesis, their kryptonite. Sligo Rovers have come and knocked them out. So, an unbelievable result for UCD, to be fair. O'Regan 78 and Wells and 82. Quick word on that before we wrap up, JP?
Um, Surprised but not surprised, given on the ending sign that UCD have had over Sligo in recent years. I say Sligo were probably an outside bet along with Waterford for the cup. Now they're out and they have to try and sneak into the top three, stroke four
Yeah,
to get you.
absolutely. Guys, let us know what you think at home. Subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. Thank you.